Hello everyone and welcome back to another book review video. Today I have my Baby Yoda earrings in, which means it's time to review a Star Wars book. And today that book, or comic I should say, is volume 4 of the Doctor Aphra series. So I have been reading the series and I've been enjoying it. Someone described it to me as Indiana Jones sort of, but in space, which I think kind of tracks. And I think if you're a Star Wars fan, you would really enjoy this comic series. I've read volumes 1 through 3, really like them. I've obviously kept reading them as this is volume 4. So volume 4 is called the Catastrophe Con, and this takes place on a prison ship, for lack of a better term. So at the end of volume 3, Dr. Aphra got mixed up in a weird situation and wound up going to prison, wound up actually being sent to prison by her sort of lover, which is kind of a whole situation in and of itself, but she's there and it's a very unique sort of prison. So in this prison, they're actually being used as kind of mercenaries in the war, the inmates. So the inmates all have a chip implanted somewhere in them that's a bomb, and they have these droids and they have to stay within a certain proximity of the droids, and they go out and attack maybe like a ship, maybe they board a ship, so if they attack, and if they get too far away from the droid, then the ship blows up and they die, obviously. But if they live, and they have to fight so they can live because they're in these battles, then they go back to their prison, their ship, their whatever. So this is the situation she's in. She's trying to make the best of the situation, but the Empire thinks that she might have some information that they want, so they are trying to interrogate her using all sorts of brain mind techniques to do that. So this is where we are in this situation. She, in the course of her time there, has decided she's getting out. She's not a big fan of being on a prison ship, so she's going to try to make a break for it, but things get complicated and she winds up needing to get help. She's trying to get off this ship. She's trying to get out of this prison, and then a lot of things happen. Her lover shows up, Darth Vader shows up, her ex shows up, her ex and her lover meet. I say lover, I don't know if they were, the amount of time she's been in prison has probably been longer than they've spent together outside. But the first thing and we get a weird Jedi, we get another weird Jedi, which was in volume 2, so if you liked volume 2, I think you really like volume 4. So in this volume, I think the personality of Dr. Aphra shines. She kind of can stay positive enough in a positive situation, in a negative situation, I should say. She makes the best of it. She's always thinking of a plan. She always has a backup plan for her backup plan. She immediately, of course, is trying to do a jailbreak. She's trying to get out of this prison, which is definitely her, and is definitely kind of a theme that I like. Like, how would you escape this prison? What's her plan? What are the complications for her plan? I like all the characters from the past series coming back to be on this ship, and somehow they all kind of get involved and they're all in the same area at the same time. We kind of get a little sneak peek of what the Empire is doing with their prisoners, which I already explained with, which is kind of interesting to see things from their perspective. And a character which was briefly mentioned in volume 3 by one of the mercenaries comes back. So we're seeing some of these characters that have been set up in previous volumes come forward and kind of play more of a central role. And I think there's an interesting setup for future entries in this comic series. There's a lot of bad people in this series. I should say that too. This is not all fluff and stuff. There's some real evil people in this, and we get one of them at the end. The twist ending at the end of this was very, very surprising. Someone was revealed to us that I had no idea was going to come in, or even come in that way. So that was very, very interesting and very, very good. And it makes me very intrigued for what volume 5 holds, because this one was just, it was surprising. There were a lot of twists and there were a lot of characters coming forward that I think could have a really interesting role to play going forward. So they're coming from the previous volumes, and I think they're going to have an interesting part to play moving forward. So long story short, this was a high 3-star read. If you like Star Wars, if you like comics, if you like the previous entries in the series, you're definitely going to like this one. And I'm definitely going to get volume 5 because I've really, really enjoyed the series up to this far, and I'm interested in seeing where the series goes. Other than that, guys, I hope you have a really great rest of your day.